everybody. My name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to Soup True Online.
So excited for this episode, you guys. This is our 33rd episode. We cannot believe that. That is ridiculous. For those of you who are joining us for the first time today, you may be asking yourself, what is Soup Troupe? Well, I'll tell you. Soup Troupe started at Frenchwood's Festival for the Performing Arts, which is an upstate sleepaway camp in Hancock, New York, where Danny and I, along with my work husband, Colwhite Shaner, decided that there was not, a safe space to talk about soup in such a dynamic way, taste, texture, viscosity. And so we created Soup Troupe to kind of encompass that environment that we all needed. But during the pandemic, when Frenchwoods was online, they asked us to do a virtual Soup Troupe meeting, and we thought, this is it. This is the stuff. So we're bringing it online to you for our 33rd episode. And we are so excited to be here today with some amazing special guests.
Oh my goodness. 33 episodes. Crazy. Thank you guys so much for coming on this crazy, wacky, soup-filled journey with us. So Danny, congratulations. I have to share with the viewers. Danny Feldman recently released his song Classy Time featuring Beth Level on Broadway.com. It is incredible, amazing, such a lovely music video. You can stream it anywhere. The link is in the description below. Please check it out. You will not want to miss it. It is absolutely hilarious. And if you want to see Beth Level curse with a Tony over her mouth, please tune in, watch it. It's wonderful. So Danny, on that vein, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Please, what do you think is your favorite classy soup?
Well, first of all, thank you. That was amazing. Yes, please check out Classy Time. It's on Broadway.com on their YouTube page. Danny, you're the best. Danny's the best.
Danny's the best.
Classy soups. That's a good one. My immediate reaction is lobster bisque, but I'm gonna have to not say that. In Ratatouille, when the chef, the food critic is coming and he's like, oh, they're gonna serve me something really good, and they just serve ratatouille, and he's like, this is pretty good. That's my idea of so I'm gonna say, if I was to go to like a 5-star restaurant, we've never tasted such foods like this, and they served me a tomato bisque, that's classy in itself to me, and that's gonna have to be my answer. Yeah.
I respect that.
What is your favorite classy soup?
Okay, so I honestly, when I was thinking about this, my brain immediately went to your music video, and I was like thinking about that, and I was like, you know what's like a classy but trashy soup? Like beer cheese soup.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had that? It's like so like luxurious and like wonderful and incredible and delicious, and like, but it's also got like that beer in it, so that way it's like it's just like a classy time. And since I think obviously in your music video it focused on some alcohol, maybe a soup featuring some alcohol too would be fun.
Maybe.
I love that soup. So yeah, A+. My brain went into a different direction, but I definitely think that it's a classy soup for sure.
I love that. That's perfect. Well, now is the time of the episode in which we have to introduce our very first special guest. We are so excited to have Jenn Maurer here on the show tonight. She's been in the national tour of ELF. She's been on HBO's Divorce, and we had the wonderful opportunity to work together on Hide and Seek thrice at Feinstein's 54 Below, one of which was 2 years ago today. Fun fact. So please welcome Jenn Maurer.
Hi.
Welcome. We're so happy to have you here, Jenn.
Thank you. This is so fun. I've never done a live Zoom interview.
Wow. Welcome. We're so happy that we're the first here at Soup Troupe. So our first question that we like to ask all of our guests is, what is your favorite soup memory?
Well, should I tell my funny soup memory story?
You can tell any soup memory. The world is your oyster.
Wow.
So my favorite kind of soup is creamy tomato, of course, with a baguette dipped into it. And so my sister sent me this recipe for, it was like roasted creamy tomato soup. And, it was during the pandemic. It was like in February and I was so bored. I was like, please give me something to do. And I was like, great, I'll make roasted tomato soup. And Phil and I went out for, I think it was on a Sunday. We hadn't really been outside yet that day because it was cold. And so we went out for a little walk at 6 p.m. And I was like, great, like when we get home, I'll make this tomato soup. And I didn't realize the recipe took 2 hours to make because you have to like roast the tomatoes in the oven for an hour. And then you have to and we don't have, a lot of times when you make a tomato soup from home, you'll use like an immersion blender that you can stick like in a pot and it blends it. But we don't have one of those. So we were then trying to take I don't know, I guess once we roasted the tomatoes and then we added some other things to it, we then had to take the whole, pot of soup and put it in my Ninja blender, which was really funny. And and Phil got a little hangry, which I don't blame him. I would have too. But actually, it turned out fantastic. I have to say I haven't made it since just because committing to 2 hours to make soup is sort of a lot. But it was I think that will, I'll keep that on my heart. It's a good soup memory.
I love that.
That was perfect. So we have to ask, we know that you have toured the country with Elf. So what was the most surreal city that you went to and performed in? And were there any soups on the road, maybe in a specific city, that really struck home with you?
Oh my gosh, it's so fun to think about Elf and touring. Well, the second half of our tour, we had a lot of week-long sit-downs. We went to awesome places like Salt Lake City and Seattle and Denver. And it was fun in Denver because we were there. I'm pretty sure we were there immediately after Frozen was there for their out-of-town tryout. So that was really cool. And I was like, oh my gosh, Casey Levy was, in this area. I'm trying to it's hard to pick my exact favorite city. I thought, I really liked Seattle because I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. And what I thought was really cool about being on tour was that, it just took me to so many, in the course of 2 months, I saw so many new places that I would obviously in normal life never get to see. And I just felt like I left in October, came back after the new year. And I was like, I feel kind of like a different person. This is so cool. In 2 months, I've had so many life experiences. But I do think Seattle is one of my favorites. We went to, I think it's called Pike Place Market. I don't know if you guys have been to Seattle. And we went to the Starbucks Roastery, which I think at the time there wasn't one in New York, or if there was, I didn't know about it. So, and I think the Roastery in Seattle was the first. So that was super cool. I could talk about it forever. It was so much fun. But then a soup story. I'm trying to think if I know that we went to Beecher's Cheese in Seattle, which has fantastic mac and cheese. And they actually have one, or is it Beaches or Beechers? I can't remember. But they have one in New York. I feel like there was soup there that I had. Oh my gosh. The thing is, though, this is testing my memory. This was kind of a few years ago. So if I did have a great soup, it would have been at Beecher's. Yeah.
Wow.
I wish I could remember a specific one.
So Elf is such a fun musical. It truly captures the fun of the movie and of the Christmas season. So I want to ask you, what was it like being in such an iconic musical? And if Jovi and Buddy had a soup on their first date, what soup would it be?
Oh my gosh, what soup would it be? So I was the Jovi understudy. Mia Girakis, who's also worked with Danny, was Jovi, and she was excellent. And I got to go on for her a couple times, which was so fun. If Jovi and Buddy were to have a soup on their first date, what would it be? I feel like, on their first date, Buddy, especially in the movie, takes sort of what world's best coffee and all these things. It's actually really bad coffee. So I feel like Buddy would have taken her to probably what he thought was the best soup in New York, but was probably just a bodega that had a flashing sign saying world's best soup. And it was frozen and they would microwave it in the back, you know what I mean? And it probably would have been some sort of chicken noodle or ramen or something, you know what I mean? But as far as being in such an iconic musical, yeah, it was my first national tour. And I was so excited because I booked that show from an open call, which, you go to a lot of open calls as an actor, but it's more I would say most of my friends have booked more shows from appointments or through, contacts they have within the industry. So that was really fun for me. I was like, I didn't know anyone on this creative team. And I just got this from showing up, waking up at 6 a.m. or whatever I did that day, singing my 16 bars. And yeah. And, Elf is just so fun. Like, it's impossible to not have a good time when you're doing that show. And my cast was fantastic. It's such a fun blend of, because I would say I'm like an equal singer or dancer. So Elf was the perfect show for me because I got to dance, to the level that I feel is my strongest. And I got to do a lot of the like high soprano notes, which was really fun. So yeah, I could talk about that all day. It was a blast.
I love that. That's so cool. So congratulations on being on HBO's Divorce. What was it like translating stage acting to the screen? And were there any craft services soups that were served on set? Did you have any? Tell us about it.
Oh, let me tell you, that was the coolest experience of my life. I actually got a residual check the other day for that show for 44 cents.
Wow.
I got a lot of more as, when it was closer, but as time goes on, so that made me giggle. But, oh my gosh, that was such a cool experience. And I got to do the scene with Sarah Jessica Parker, which I watched Sex and the City so many times. I think I was in the middle of watching the series at that point, and I was like, this is so cool. And I had to meet them at this van to go upstate at around 5 a.m. or something. And I think before I got in the van, they were like, let us know what you'd like for breakfast. And no, I was in the van and the driver said this to me. And I was in the van with some crew. And I was like, oh, well, what are my options? And he was like, they can make anything you want. What world am I in? In film, they just I guess there's just so much money, they just treat you like royalty. And I was like, this is fantastic. I think I got an omelet or something. It was early in the morning. I left by what was it? I think I left right before lunch. So I didn't get to enjoy if they perhaps had any soups. But I actually couldn't go to the craft services trailer because it was on a different side of the campus, I guess. That's why they had to ask me in advance what I wanted to eat. And yeah, translating stage to film is challenging just because I've grown up in theater. I've always done theater, but I do know how to translate it, but I have to be really cognizant of it because in theater it's all about projecting and making sure someone in the very back can see you and hear you, whereas in film you can be talking just like this and they can understand what you're saying. So yeah, the director gave me some direction on that scene. I honestly was just trying to not freak out that I was with Sarah Jessica Parker. I actually talked to her during one of I guess because they would change the lighting and, try different camera angles. So during one of those breaks, I wasn't going to approach Sarah because I didn't want to be, not professional, and she was in her workplace. And so was I, of course. But the director was really sweet and was like, Sarah, did you know, this is Jenn's first TV appearance? And Sarah was like, I would have never known. You were cool as a cucumber. And I was like, oh, you have no idea that my heart is racing inside. So yeah, that was an amazing experience. I would love to have more of those experiences once we're, back to normal.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool.
That is another, I will remember that for the rest of my life. Coolest experience ever. That was amazing.
All right. Well, now is the time of the episode where we are going to have our Q&A section. Wow. So if you have any questions for Jenn, please leave them in the comments section below, and we'll try to get to as many as we can.
All right. This first one comes from Kendall, who asks, in your opinion, what soup most resembles World's Best Coffee in the way it's supposed to be, but it's actually good but terrible?
I really do think it would be Cup of Noodles in a styrofoam cup, right? I mean, I think that he would have, seen an advertisement or whatever in a bodega that was number one soup purchase nationwide, which is probably true because everyone gets ramen. And then he would have blindfolded Jovi and had her taste them, and she would have been this cup of noodles.
I love that. The next one comes from Charlie, who says, breaking news, the elf food groups have expanded to candy, candy corn, candy canes, sugar, and soup. What is the new official soup of the North Pole?
What is the new official soup of the North Pole? I mean, to be honest, I have to say I'm biased, but like part of me thinks creamy tomato bisque because it's red for Christmas and it's very comforting and it's perfect in the winter. So, I mean, that's an obvious choice.
Yeah, no, I agree. This next one comes from LMM123, who says, if you could make a soup into an iconic Starbucks drink, like pumpkin spice latte, what would you create?
Ooh, that's a really good question. If you could make a soup into an iconic Starbucks drink. I feel like it would definitely be obviously like a sweeter soup. I probably would do, oh gosh. Oh, you know what I would do? I would probably do a pumpkin bisque with a cinnamon swirl on top, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe like a Scotty served on the side.
They should. This next one comes from Anna, who asks, instead of a stocking being filled with coal when you're naughty, it's filled with soup. What soup should replace coal for all of those naughty children?
Ooh, this is not a great soup. Okay, I might have some people who disagree with me here. Not a fan of broccoli cheddar.
Okay, elaborate on it.
I feel like you two disagree because of the look on your face.
It's my favorite soup. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We can all have different soup opinions. So I respect your soup opinion.
My mom loves broccoli cheddar too, but I think if we had to replace a soup in a stocking, it would be broccoli cheddar.
I would be so happy with that. So
you'd be okay.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question, and it comes from Kendall, who asked, if you were a late night talk show host and could interview any soup, which soup would you choose to interview?
That's a good question. You know, as we were preparing for this, I was thinking about all the different soups I like because I really do love soup. And I was also remembering how much I love Italian wedding soup. And I feel like I would want to interview Italian wedding soup because I feel like she's seen a lot of different stuff, right? I mean, like, she may have seen some weddings that, you know, ended in shambles. She may have seen some brides like the altar. She may have seen some couples who fell in love and stayed in love forever. So I just would want to know all the details.
I love that. Amazing. Well, that is all the time we have left for our Q&A section today. Thank you so much, Jenn, for a lovely time today. We are so grateful that we were able to interview you. So thank you again.
Thank you. So fun.
Of course. Well, everyone at home, please join us in wishing Jenn a 1, 2, 3. We're here for you. Thank you, Jenn. That was Jenn Maurer. You simply must follow her on everything at JMau91. We are so excited to see everything that she does, pandemic and beyond, and we cannot wait to have her back on the show someday. All right, it is time to move on to our next special guest of the day. Of course, it is Phil Sloves. You know him from swinging in SpongeBob SquarePants on Broadway, and of course, he was in Hide and Seek twice at Feinstein's 54 Below, one of which was 2 years ago today. So please welcome Phil Sloves.
Hey!
Welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Welcome to Soup Troupe.
This is so delightfully ridiculous. I love it.
Well, let's just hop right in. The first question we ask all of our guests is, what's your favorite soup memory?
Oh, gosh. Well, I do want to defend myself real quick with the attack from Jenn about the 2-hour soup. I did get hangry, but that's because I made grilled cheese when she started making soup, because grilled cheese and soup, tomato soup go together. And it was in the understanding that, like, by the time the grilled cheese was done, the soup will probably be done. The grilled cheeses were done for like an hour and a half before the soup was done. So I'll defend myself there. But my favorite soup, we're talking about, right? My favorite soup memory?
Yes.
Oh, my Nana makes a mean matzo ball soup. And, I really love when we get together for the holidays at her place. And she doles out the perfect amount. She also puts little noodles in her matzo ball soup. That's also not during Passover. She makes it like all the time. During Passover, it's just matzo balls because, kosher for Passover. But otherwise, there's little noodles in it too. Ooh, delicious.
I love that. I love everyone who comes on the show argues that their family makes the best matzo ball soup. So I think one day there does need to be a tasting, like a connection.
I think everyone just from the womb, they're told that this is the matzo ball soup and any other one is inferior. So it'll be really hard to change anybody's mind.
I agree. Well, we have to know, what was it like being a swing on Broadway? What was the hardest part? What was the most rewarding part? And were there any soups that helped you for an unexpected performance?
Yeah, so swinging was incredible. I didn't know I could do it until I was told I had to. And yeah, it's really, you have to segment your brain a lot because I covered Patrick Star, Mr. Krabs, Old Man Jenkins, and Perch Perkins. And my first few days of rehearsal, I was like, okay, we're only watching Mr. Krabs. And then after that, I memorized all that, and the next I was like, all right, Patrick, and the next. So in order to sort of segment it, you really just gotta trust that you can learn all of it and be focused. I think the hardest part about it was that I just knew that we were closing as soon as I joined the company. Because I joined the company July 1st, and on July 10th, we got closing notice. So I was like, am I going to make my Broadway debut? I ended up doing that, which was awesome. I played Mr. Krabs 7 times, and I played Patrick once. Wow. So I definitely had an amazing time. And soups that got me through that, there was a Subway, right? We were at the Palace Theater. There was a Subway sandwich right around the corner. So I would hop over there, get a turkey sandwich and a cup of chicken noodle soup. So I knew it was good for my stomach and it would give me some energy before my shows. And actually, Alex Gibson, who was another swing, he was super supportive whenever I was my first time going on. He was like, "Oh my God, what do you want to eat?" So he ran to Subway and got me that, and it was really nice. So love you.
That's awesome. I love that. So we know that you do stand-up comedy. So we want to ask you, if you had to write a comedy special about soup, what would it be and why?
Okay, I will clarify. I don't do stand-up necessarily. I write a lot of sketches with my writing partner, Gripless. And it's I've always said I want to get in stand-up comedy, maybe one day. But if I had to write a sketch about soups, I think it would be a very pun-based, and it would be off the top of my head, so there's a tomato bisque walking through the door, and he's really mad because he burnt someone's mouth, the roof of someone's mouth, and they're sitting at a soup bar, so it's a bunch of soup sitting there. And they're always talking about what people complain about them. So French would be listen, someone choked on my cheese the other day. Get over it. They died. You just burnt someone's mouth. And the tomato bisque is you don't understand. It's really hard. It's so delicious, and people want to eat you right away, but then you burn the roof of their mouth. So yeah, they just have a big quarrel about that. And it would end up with Ramen sitting in the corner smoking a cigarette, being either you have it bad, I'm really cheap, and then curtain and credits, and that's my spiel.
That was phenomenal.
I'm gonna call the people at SNL right now, pitch it to them, and I'll keep you posted on the status of that sketch.
Thank you so much.
So we also know that you're a black belt in Taekwondo. So talk a little bit about that, and what do you think would be the best soup to help you in a fight?
I am a black belt in Taekwondo. I haven't. Okay, wow. So wait, what was the question? I got excited that you talked about this.
What soup do you think would be the best to help you in a fight, and why?
Oh, okay. So the best soup that would help me in a fight, lentil soup. I love the lentil soup from Trader Joe's. That stuff gives me energy out the wazoo. So I think if I had some lentil soup from Trader Joe's pre-fight, I'd be just firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Well, now is the time of the episode for you to leave your questions for Phil in the comments. If you have any questions for Phil, please leave them below and we will get to as many as humanly possible.
This first one comes from Kendall, who asks, soup most likely become a staple of Bath and Body Works scent?
Bed Bath.
Soup most likely to become a scent. I want to say French onion soup.
Yeah.
I love it. It doesn't smell like great to other people, but I love onions.
Yeah. You walk in, long day, swinging on Broadway, and there is the scent of French onion. No, I feel that. So this next one comes from LMM123, who says, what soup would be the best bubblegum flavor?
I feel like I'm thinking about Willy Wonka right now because
that was my thought process too.
A full meal. She's like, there's soup, and now it's turkey. So whatever soup was in that, I will say that because she seemed like she loved it.
Pea soup?
I think it was like a tomato soup.
I think it was a tomato soup. Yeah, if it was pea soup, I would say no to that. Sorry.
What is the lyric? There's a lyric somewhere that goes, pea soup, roast beef, and blueberry ice cream. Is not from Willy Wonka?
It might be.
I don't know. Who knows?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna look it up. I'll get back to you. This next one comes from Charlie B. Southern, who asks, in a game of hide and seek, which soup would be the best hider and what soup would be the best seeker?
The best hider would be I forget the name of what's the soup that you serve cold?
Gazpacho.
Gazpacho. So gazpacho would be the best hider because there's no steam coming out of it. It can just sit there. No one can see it. The best seeker would probably be an Italian wedding soup because it's got the meatballs and they can roll around and they can seek.
Right. Of course. That's the sequel right there.
Yeah.
The squeakquel.
This next one just excites me very much. It's from the Broadway hot dog. And it says, do you eat any sausage soup?
Hi, Weenie. Oh, the Broadway hot dog is one of my I love the Broadway hot dog. Do I eat any sausage soup? Of course, I eat some sausage soup. But I don't want to like offend the hot dog and be like, I'm not gonna eat hot dog soup. I'll eat a sausage soup, but a hot dog soup, that is not. I don't want that. Like if you had a sausage, no. Nice Italian sausage.
Listen, understood. This next one comes from a complete stranger, David Sloves, who says, what would the crusty crab serve with soup?
So the complete stranger is actually my father. And the crusty crab would probably serve a Krabby Patty soup. Cut up the Krabby Patty, put it with some seaweed, some kelp, season it with some of the secret formula. And I think it's just a no-brainer there.
You're right.
Amazing.
Well, we have time for one more question, and it comes from former Soup Troop guest Tucker, who says, OMG, hi, Soup Troop. If you had to knock out, his new single is called Knockout, the haters, what soup would you sip onto to get self-love energy?
Oh, gosh. So what soup really gets my self-love energy up? The red pepper soup from Trader Joe's.
Ooh.
That stuff warms me. It's good.
I love that. Amazing.
Let me tell you, on Weight Watchers, if you do a cup of that with 55 goldfish, that's only 6 points.
Wow.
Oh, life hacks right here.
X.
Amazing. Well, that is all the time we have today for our Q&A section. So thank you guys so much for leaving all your wonderful questions. And thank you, Phil, for joining us today on Soup Troop. This was a blast and a half. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Well, everyone at home, please join us in giving Phil a 1, 2, 3.
We're here for you.
Oh.
Thank you so much again for joining us.
That was Phil Sloves. You simply must follow him on all of the social medias at Phil Sloves. We are so excited to see everything he does, pandemic and beyond. Danny, did you notice something crazy about their backgrounds?
Well, Danny, I sure did. I noticed that they were the same background. Do you know what that means?
No.
That means that we
You.
are going to have our second annual Couples Face Off!
So everyone, for those of you who don't know, Phil and Jen are in fact dating. So please welcome back for Couples Face Off Round 2, Phil and Jen.
Yay!
Super.
Welcome back, guys! What a surprise! How crazy!
So we have a couple of questions for you. First of all, which is, are there any soups you like to eat or make together? Obviously, this tomato soup we don't like to make together. It does not count.
No, I love tomato soup.
I love tomato soup too. Just we need to, if we appropriately time it out.
Well, one of our friends gave us the recommendation that instead of like roasting the tomatoes fresh, which is really, tastes really good, you can just do tomato paste in like the pot and it'll give it kind of the same texture. So we should try that next time.
No, I think we'll revisit it at some point. Also, she makes really good tortellini, tomato, like chicken sausage soup that's like,
Yum.
she made that when we first started dating, and I was like, ooh.
I forgot about this. My friend gave me this recipe. It's she gave it to me back in college when I couldn't cook, and she was like, "This is foolproof. You can make it so easily." It's like a 28-ounce can of, I think it's crushed tomatoes, and then that same can full of water, and then frozen spinach and tortellini and spices, and then I add chicken sausage to it, and it's really delicious.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't believe I didn't remember that. Good call.
Wow.
Yummy. Now I'm hungry. I want that soup.
Make the recipe.
It's really good. So
Amazing. Well, now we are having our second annual couple face-off. Thank you guys so much. We are so excited. We had our first couples face-off featuring Maria Delano and Brendan Callahan. So we are so grateful to be doing a second couples face-off with you guys. Maybe you guys can beat their previous score. Who knows? I have a lot of faith in you guys. So how this game will work is that Danny and I will take turns describing a popular soup to each of you. And if you can guess the name of the soup from our clues, you will get a point. And if not, we will turn it over to the other person for a steal. So may the best partner win.
we're playing
I'm looking
against
forward
each
to winning.
other. Ooh.
You guys have any questions?
I think I get it.
We have to guess the soup.
Yeah.
All right. We are about to play couples face-off, and away we soup. This is for Jen. This is a creamy soup, and it's traditionally paired with grilled cheese.
Tomato.
Ding ding.
Amazing. Phil, this is for you. This soup has a layer of stretchy cheese, and the flavor is also, it makes a fabulous dip for potato chips or pretzels.
French onion.
Yes, perfect. Amazing.
All right, Jen, this is a cold soup made with tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers, and it originated in Spain.
Spanish gazpacho.
Yes.
Perfect. Amazing. Phil, this soup is maybe the most comforting of all soups, served when you are sick and need a taste of home, known to soothe the soul.
Chicken noodle soup.
Perfect. Amazing. Right on target.
Jen, this is a fall favorite. It's a creamy soup that tastes lovely when paired with some pumpkin seeds or croutons.
Pumpkin bisque.
Close.
Butternut squash.
Ding ding.
Amazing. Perfect. This next soup, Phil, is a fan favorite. You can get a hot bowl of this soup at a deli, a diner, or at Passover dinner.
Oh, matzo ball soup.
Amazing. Perfect.
Final round before we go into our tiebreaker round. Jen, this is a soup with mini meatballs, small circular pasta, and lots of veggies.
Italian wedding.
Yes.
Amazing. Phil, this is your last question. This soup is extremely expensive. It's quite fishy, and it's fancy because of its main pricey ingredient.
Lobster bisque.
Yes, perfect. Amazing. You guys are at a tie right now. So now we have our last tiebreaker question. So how this tiebreaker is going to work is you can buzz in by double clapping as soon as you know the answer to the question, and whoever gets it first wins. Are you guys ready to complete the tiebreaker?
Yes.
Couples face off. Okay. This soup.
Stefan.
Oh.
Oh my God. Okay. So
New York.
this soup is a delicious soup that you can get with your takeout. It is made with tofu and meat.
Jen.
Jen.
Soup.
Yeah!
I did it! I won! What's my prize?
Congratulations, Jen, you have won Couples Face Off. You win the title of winner of Couples Face Off. Congratulations. And what else do you win? You win never-ending admiration from Soup Troupe Online.
Love it, love it.
You are joining the very select group of winners, including Maria Delano and now Jenn Maurer. You will be remembered every time.
Girls are tending to win.
Girl power.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This was so much fun, you guys. We are so grateful to have had you on Soup Troupe today. Thank you for talking about soup and playing soup games with us. This was absolutely so much fun.
Thank you for having us. I had a blast.
It was fun. I'm hoping for Red Bull from Panera.
Let's go get one.
Hey, there it is. Thank you guys so much.
See ya.
That was Phil and Jen. They're absolutely wonderful. Follow them on those social medias and make sure to keep in touch. We have to thank them for coming on the episode today. If you want more Phil and Jen, which we do, you can catch them in Waitress on, did I say that right? May 9th in the Michael Anthony Theatrical Productions. They are playing Ogie and Dawn in I Love You Like a Table, and we are so excited to watch and cheer on. If you like this episode of Soup Troupe Online, you can like us on Instagram or Facebook. You can like and subscribe to this channel down below, or that's all.
That's all.
It was good.
Well, I have some more things that you can do if you can't get enough of Soup Troupe, which we know you can't because Soup Troupe is the best. You can read more about Soup Troupe online on BroadwayWorld.com. The link is in the description below. We are so grateful to be have named. That was not
This is
English.
the worst outro we've ever done.
This is the one. Anyways, guys, we are so grateful to be named BroadwayWorld.com's 2021 favorite live stream.
We are so excited to continue our partnership with Brodo Broth Company. If you are looking for broth in the Manhattan area, or you want a frozen broth delivered to your door anywhere around the country, you can go get some Brodo Broth. We love them, and we are so happy to continue our growth and development with you guys.
Anyways,
my name is Danny.
I'm Danny, and this has been Soup Troupe Online. Everybody at home, join us in a 1, 2, 3. Have a super day. Love you guys. See you next week.
Well, I mean, I think the simplest thing is that after everyone speaks, we say, "We're here for you."
And at first I was like, I don't know what that even is. And I came and it's such an important part of my day now. I never really tried the Frenchwood soup before Soup Troupe. It really opened my eyes to a whole new part of the Frenchwood's dining hall.
Soup Troupe is really inclusive, and Soup Troupe is a place where everybody can just come and talk about soup when it's good and also complain about soup when it's bad, because we all deserve a good bowl of soup in our lives.
Well, I never thought that I could ever meet a group of people so welcoming and kind and loving.
I never have soup other than Frenchwoods.
We know the kitchen staff just works so hard making these delicious soups for us every day. And just Soup Troupe is just the way we want to thank them and show that they're truly appreciated.
Being able to talk amongst my peers here at Frenchwoods about the daily soups has really enhanced my daily life.
Soup Troupe has really brought me and Ray close together. Yes. I don't think we would have been this close if it hadn't been for the soup that we get every day.
It's really helpful.
We're here for you.
I felt like I was the only one who could express my love for soup in such a dynamic way.
Thank you, Soup Troupe.
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 Thank you, Frenchwoods.
Hey Soup Troupe, it's Cole. One of your founders. I wanted to thank Soup Troupe for being such an inclusive space. I love you all. Keep enjoying soup and save me a mushroom and brie.